the main topics are that I say look at how the new technology is changing also the public debate and the public arenas and the public opinion. So it not only generates platforms in markets, but also new media and information in public sector. And that disrupts democracy. You now see the same disruption as in the market, that persons that know better to use these technologies win. That people from outside politics, by using the new technology, are generating much more support than their competitors. And it's also disrupting public services, because these citizens also claim that they can produce different ways of healthcare or housing or neighborhood management than the current provider. Given these new arenas and this new public domain and this new power of citizens themselves, we need also a leadership that can address that same power and knows how to handle a public opinion that's really of the public itself, and no longer mediators like professors or experts or journalists between them. It's direct. So these issues are about, is civil leadership the right answer? I think the current protests are an old-fashioned reaction. It's bigger and faster and much more impressive than in the early days. But it's still an old attitude. You go to government to change things. And what I like is that the new technology also makes it possible, and I see it happening, makes it possible that people organize themselves in their neighborhoods, in their care system, in their care for children. Underlying cultural and institutional problems can be that when you have a very dominant government and a very dominant state who thinks they have a monopoly in public services and have a monopoly in solving societal problems, then they will try to get away with citizens organizing themselves. The leadership development is a lot about changing their attitude towards this new revolution that's going on. And it's so undermining them that they don't see it coming. They want to hide and they want to ignore. And the big leadership, so that's what I call in the book strategic intelligence. And strategic intelligence is about that you also see something coming that is very threatening. And most CEOs I know, including CEOs in the public service, don't have that attitude. There are three people or four people who think it's time to protest, and they generate the yellow vest in France or the Hong Kong public protest. And what you see is that you now, as an informal individual citizen, can generate massive protest on the street. And that is totally new. Okay, nice, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
It was amazing how enthusiastic everybody was. It was a switch of the round table, so we had 20 minutes discussion and then we changed tables. So every time I had a new group with a lot of people that want to address my issues. So very nice.
What's good about discussing this with different people, this topic?
I hear a lot of things back from their perspective. So somebody was from the tribes and talked about tribal leadership. Somebody else was from a European country which has a different culture than the US institutions. So I hear a lot of perspectives.
And why is it good to discuss this topic here?
Because my main advice and conclusion is that we need another leadership. We need civil leadership to address the new strategic environment.
Okay. Are you happy with the discussions that you've had?
Yeah, very much. Very vivid and very open and enthusiastic, and also a bit worried about what's going on in the world.